Hello, beautiful family, lovers of good things, lovers of beautiful things all over the globe. I bring greetings from a grateful heart. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your time zone. Thank you so dearly for always tuning into this platform. I really do appreciate. Please do it to like our video, share, and subscribe. Today, I have a wonderful one that I want us to watch, and I will be watching it with you. Sit back, watch it, and I'll be right back.
The architecture. Even I remember when you're making it abundantly clear that ESN activities should never be posted on social media. I can remember a couple of times when the I don't know if it's devil that is possessing this man, when Chino Sanwo still have his senses right. I see him talk about people not posting about ESN. I remember when the first video, when they caught men their face down, he wrote something and came on the Alpha was questioning who are these people, the commander, rare. But today, all these videos that are popping out on social media was shared by his own Facebook or Twitter. And he sat down and asked yourself a question. Why is all this whole thing coming out on social media? There's one saying I can tell you that a barking dog does not bite. Our leader is being held incommunicado. And all you hear is people whining, titu tatu is what you've been hearing. If you want to kill a dog, you don't tell a dog. Rat is that you keep the poison for rats or a trap to cut that rat. But you don't tell rat that you kept the trap for him to cut the rat. It's a common sense. If you're going to war and reveal your secret to who you want to go and fight, then how are you going to win that war? Whatever we have is what we should be cherished. If we take a case study 2015, so many things went on in 2015. And so many things that were coming from Left and Center was positive, that pressure was mounted on those that was holding our leader. And eventually at the end of the day, things happened. So now one question is this. We were going to play two videos based on video that just popped out within the architect security of IPOB, which is our vigilante, which is ESN. And the chanting they are chanting. I want to correct one impression here. There's no Buhari. Buhari is dead and buried in Saudi Arabia in shallow grave. Jubril is no more. He's run away. So people are wearing masks. IPOB and her leadership must know that whenever you're addressing Jubril or impostor and calling him Buhari, I don't know the position you put in our leader. We must choose our words rightly. Buhari is no more. So we must call them by their name. Because our leader have made it clear to the world, and no one has come to refute it. That's like when we say things here, we ask you to come on, because with that, irrevocable evidence was there that this man died and the secret was kept. And that's why sometimes I said we call them, Alamajuris, and they didn't go to school, they're cattle rearer, but at least they can keep their house in order. If they can still ruling all of us in that dominable zoological republic for the past 7 years under somebody impersonating a president that have died and the whole world knows he's a dead man, then anything can happen. And we can't hold ourselves together just under 18 months. Everybody's on their own, ranting like mad dog. Whatever you know about your comrade, you must come on social media and talk about it. If you have an argument with somebody, whatever is told you in secret, you made it open to everybody to know. Is this kind of Biafra we want to restore? So, Mazi, I think it's important you play those two videos. Let's just watch them. We'll settle away, then we'll talk something about it. Yeah.
International. Biafra Alpha Power Media International. Biafra Alpha Power Media International. Biafra Alpha Power Media International.
Mazi, to be honest with you, I don't want to, I don't want to ridicule ourselves. To be honest, I'm being honest with you. And I respect our men and women that all of us are volunteers. Every principal officer under IPOB obviously is a volunteer. We have said it all the time. I want to point out something in these two videos. I don't understand why it's on social media. If anybody asks me, George, why is this video being posted on social media? And what is intention and what is it to achieve? Rather to cause more problem in our land. Or even those that are actually in the bush, guiding our forests. Onyendo have said that ESN is not our standing army. We must understand it. I'm just advising those that is actually honest to themselves, that have anything to do with our security architecture, because I know Onyendo set up ESN with the purpose of driving out the herdsmen that are ravaging our forests and raping our mothers and our sisters. But what I'm trying to figure out is these people chanting Buhari, which is dead Buhari, obey court order, Nigeria obey court order, and they are ESN personnel. And the next thing he saw is men that we are covered with leaves, this is the formation of soldiers in the bush. We understand all that. Oh, my problem here is that why is this on social media? Even Ukraine and Russia is fighting. Nobody have shown what they do in a secret or how they are prepared to go offensive against their enemy. But what is the meaning of this? That's my question, Mazi. I don't want to go too deep in this. But what I'm saying to those that are doing this, they need to stop this. Because this is not, nobody's scared about this. To be honest with you, this make our people more vulnerable, if you ask me. Now, they are chanting under what? Under Onyendo to scare the zoo away to leave our leader. Is that what it means? And the answer is no. It ain't going to happen. Because they still have that balls to go and kill our people in our villages. If you have something to do, go ahead and do it. There's anything, if they have any plan whatsoever, if they have anything to offer, they don't have to come on social media. This is where I know that some people have failed, and they have failed our leader. This ain't helping Onyendo in any shape or form. These two videos is causing more problem. That's why you see their camps being attacked all the time. Because the locations has been given out. Now I have shown them how you hide yourself in the bush. So apparently, any camp they go, they shoot aside anything they see that is lived. They will bomb it. That's the fact of life. I've said they should go and do a little bit of, you see Sierra Leone and Liberia. Nigeria was the country, ECOMOG, then, that had upper hand, as you see today. Then they have Alpha jets. That's why they used to go and comb these guys in the bush. Sierra Leone and Liberia, this is what they used to go and comb them back in the days. I've told them, go and learn and understand when you're fighting with someone that is more sophisticated than you. What do you do? What strategy? That only strategy you have is not something you sell out to public. Let alone now putting the life of those that actually have volunteered to do that work in danger. My question I'm asking is that these two videos that we just watched, chanting about Muhammad Buhari obey court order, reporting ESN, and dressing up in the leaf in the bush as soldiers. Are you preparing war? What does it mean? That is why when people start lying to themselves, propaganda is not a good thing. Certitude is not IPOB's built upon. If we have something to do, we deal with it. We know what we are fighting for. We know why we are here. The people that are holding our leader is going to come out, but let's stop making things worse. I don't know why these people will be putting our people's life in danger. Just look at what happened in Zombe. Every time these people came to attack our people, there's no repair. There's nothing. They will come and do their damage. At the end of the day, they walk away. Nobody raise a finger. And they will still continue making things worse. I just want to find out why. And we shouldn't be following, listen, sentiment, emotion is what is holding us as a race people back. When the time to take stand and to say to something, this is wrong. The reason why countries move forward is that people that in leadership, when they do something wrong, they be held accountable. We are a freedom fighting movement, and our leader is being held incommunicado. we should be strategizing. And our strategy should be something dear to us, not something should be made public. That is my combo advice. I don't know the reason why. I don't know the notion behind these two videos. And something like that have happened over time. If we go back and remember when they floated some people, called them their cadets, and they were going to be the people arresting people in Biafra land and all that thing. I keep on asking questions. I don't want to dabble into this security issue, but Onyendu himself said it with a very calm voice in court that he want Biafra land to be calm. But I'm not seeing you guys working towards that. Because if you are, you can't be showing these kind of things on social media. Now, those people you told us that were cadets, where are they? How many people have they arrested? This is something that we need to, it just needs to stop. This shenanigan need to be buried. And we find a strategic movement. IPOB is a one big family, and we know where our strength based and lies upon. When lies and servitude has come in, he can't, when you fell, the spirit of Biafra left you, wouldn't know you have left you. You keep on, all you do, everything you do is a mistake. Some of the people that are around wouldn't even want to say it. Because just like what we are facing to some people say, George, don't talk about it, just leave it, just leave it. You ask them, leave it. How do we move forward? That is my question. And nobody will tell you anything. Oh, leave it in but how are these going to come out? On which level, which pressure are we getting from where? If not what our luminaries are doing and all that. Which other way should we go to make things work out? Instead of making caricature of ourselves, putting our people on social media, marching, chanting, Buhari Obekotoda, now people dressing on the leaves as a soldiers and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's a wise thing to do. People might not talk, but as much as these things goes forward, people now start seeing what we are doing as if it's a joke. If you have something to offer or something to do, go ahead and do it. You don't need to notify anybody. We don't need to show them our strategies or what we know or how we do it. No. This is just a humble advice. I'm not saying this to put anybody down, but what I'm saying here is that this kind of video shouldn't be popping out on social media. Onyendu have said it. ESN activities is not allowed to be on social media. So I don't know why suddenly now it has become, it's like a routine thing. Every single time you see one video come out, I don't think it's a good thing. And it's not helping anything we are doing. It's not getting us anything. Instead, it's adding to, adding agony into what our people are facing back home on the ground. Because at the end of the day, whenever this thing has happened, someone is going to leak it to the zoo government. They're going to go back now and start hunting people that have not done nothing. If you have something to offer, go ahead and implement it without you letting anybody know. Actions speak louder than words. And the barking dog does not bite. You see that dog that sit down, does not move and do anything. Any day you step in their tail, they will bite you. And they will bite you, they won't even care if there's a poo in your bum. They will eat up everything. And this is IPOB, I know. Mazi, I think I will stop here for this issue before we move forward.
Yeah, Mazi, thank you so much. But before we go to another issue, I would like to say one or two things on this issue. And I will address this my message to Mazi Chinasanwolu. Mazi Chinasanwolu, I know you are watching this video. I know you are on this program. Listen. I don't know how to talk, but I want to give you just one advice. If there's any point you want to prove, Biafrans know you have proved that point. But please, from now on forth, take off ESN activities off media. Before our leader was the rendition to Nigeria, he said it. Please, Mazi Chinasanwolu, I call your name. Take off any ESN activities off social media. As a good soldier, as a good security, how can you reveal your secret to your enemy? How? How can you reveal your secret to your enemy? You parade our great men and great women. You show the enemy your secret. So when they attack them, they can be shooting at random. Anything leave, they'll be shooting. You can't show your enemy your strength. No. But please take off ESN activities off social media. This is a message direct to you, Mazi Chinasanwolu. Thank you so much. So Mazi.
Yeah. We like I said, there's no prejudice here. IPOB must be sanitized. Yeah. I know there's so many, confused and weak of us out there, but Onyendu will join us very soon. you know. But before then, we must not allow this candle to turn off. You know, my duty is to make sure, because as we are going forward to restore Biafra, Onyendu said is 100 men with clean hearts and women that Biafra will carry them or give us Biafra. So, and there's no if but on it. It's either you're in or out. One thing, there's one word which I'm for you to say, which I'm for say, once you're outside IPOB, it's either you're an IPOB or outside IPOB yapping. You know, so, and that's fast, because when he fell off, he was actually outside yapping. You know, so he resigned by himself, and before his position was actually abolishing IPOB. The reason why I'm making reference is that in this, we have already, IPOB is a house. Onyendu, you know, our leader, that's one thing I tell people. If Onyendu was an ordinary person, I will never budge. He said, and I'll quote, he said, IPOB will be a household, and a time will come, it become a privilege. And that is why you see today everybody's camping to be an IPOB member. They want to belong. Some people say they preach IPOB for them 2 years. People like us, they nobody preach. We heard the voice, we join. And that is why the spirit of Biafra will never leave you unless the day you offend the spirit of Biafra, because what we are doing is more spiritual than physical. You know, so we are here to give that particular direction in this point in time. Because the truth about it is that those that are supposed to be leading us, have lost their track, and that's the truth. There's no two ways about it. And that's why they see when they mention autopilot or not autopilot, and I said it, or the only autopilot I know is those people that Onyendu gave order. Now we're ignoring Onyendu's order. That is real autopilot. Any other autopilot, I judge never recognized that from day one. Anybody that knows me knows I stand on it. And I said anybody can go and form whatever they want to form. I don't have issues with it. But I don't want them to use people to distract us within IPOB, saying, oh, infiltrators. There's no infiltrator than the one we have within. Because all of us are together and we know what is going on. So that's the fact we are making to every sundry to be very, very wary of what they are doing. This is no longer a child's play. People have given their souls and their everything to restore Biafra. If you are tired, you know you can't do it anymore, you just walk away. There's some people that are saying that, but they are the ones that actually need to go away because they are not for IPOB. IPOB is not about me, not about you. This is a freedom movement, and this movement is something that has to change the entire black race, because that's what we're fighting for. A lot of people don't know. I wish you understand what we're fighting for. So, Mazi, tonight, as we are moving forward, what we are saying is that at this point in time in the struggle, people must be wary of the words that comes out of their mouth and things they say, because it will be checkmated. And you must be honest to yourself, because the word that comes out of your mouth, once it comes out, social media, it goes viral. And that is why today a lot of people have lost their direction and respect, because that word that have come out of your mouth is recorded. People have it. It doesn't matter what you say. It means absolutely nothing. The day I heard that Onyendu message was coming and everybody was reluctant, that very moment, every single individual that was part of that issue, they seems to exist in my brain, resetted instantly, because that's kind of human being that I am. If Onyendu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu word can be ignored, I don't know who else shall I listen to. That's my problem. And I said it all the time that Onyendu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it is not an ordinary person. And Onyendu is not absent. I will reiterate again. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in DSS dungeon. And like Chikerizem said, our leader is reachable. And what people want us to see is to isolate our leader. That is his words. And we can always come here to reiterate our words. That's Onyendu, that what they want us to do is to isolate our leader. This is his words. In your hands. Chinas Awori is telling you that what Onyendu see might affect him or affect the struggle. And in conclusion, Chikerizem is now saying that Onyendu didn't give him a reason why to suspend sit at home. So when all this voice is going into your head, unless you are dead, you know when someone don't think anymore, or someone say, oh, it's not about this, has nothing to do with leadership. It has got no. This is an individual thing. These are individual words, right? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in the DSS dungeon for what? For Biafra. And somebody is telling you that our leader is absent, and you're making it public. That's what I'm saying. You people brought everything we do. As IPOB, we don't discuss our affairs publicly. In the days of Radio Biafra, that's why I always mention Uche before. You dare not come to Radio Biafra and say that you have problem, because first Uche will ask you, You want to talk about anything concerning IPOB family issue. First question asks you, are you a IPOB member? He said yes. What zone do you belong to? Once you answer that question, he will refer you back to your coordinator. If your coordinator cannot handle that matter, then take it up as our structure has been designed to us to deal with the issue internally. Matters does not discuss in Radio Biafra. But the day they allow issues of IPOB to be talked about and for Radio Biafra now people now turn it into saga. Is the day they lost every inch of that particular direction Onyendu have set out. So that's what has brought all of us today that will come to social media to come and give a voice. While we have one command, let me say one command, centralized. Everything in IPOB come as one. Onyendu, our media is one. Our finance is one. They started with media now before they go into our finance. Everything in IPOB is centralized. But that's when you say one command, not two. We don't have two media. We have only one. But today, everybody today is a broadcaster. Everybody woke up in the morning. They have a Chikedozium, in private message about their principal officer. They will sit down in their room after being intoxicated, reading it out to their fans, and people will sit down and be saying that we are still doing IPOB. That IPOB me and you saw, and people have died for. But do you think if other people that we actually questioning and asking for our freedom see all these activities, they think they will take us serious? Of course not. That's the thing that made people grew in IPOB. That's the force and the kind of discipline. When you say this, they will come and tell you about discipline and ask them if true that for instance, Chikedozium will come on radio and say IPOB was found under discipline. Now us now we said it is something. Then ask Chikedozium, if it was found under discipline, then why did you disobey Onyendu with your own voice and with your own mouth, saying that that Onyendu actually told you 18 hours before the first sit at home to suspend that sit at home? After you agreed with Onyendu sent message. I think 21 hours before the first sit at home. They didn't tell about that. 21 hours before that sit at home, Onyendu, all this problem couldn't have arisen in the first place. Because you made the announcement. You can still call it off. Then there was no counter, opinion. Counter has not tweeted then. And nobody can question because then IPOB was still intact. All this whole mess started from the moment you disobeyed our leader. And Counter came out and said, this sit at home has been suspended because he has the same information, the same message you have is what Counter had. And that is why he came out and said, we guys cannot do this. And that is where our problem started. And today we are everybody's camping. Now, what they are saying, infiltrate or this, infiltrate or that. You go back even when they ask someone to broadcast in the Biafra. This same problem happened. So if we start down here and be talking, how did we get here? How did we get here? Your body language, the word that come out of your mouth, this is the problem we have had. And now you people have thinking that you have accomplished what you want because you guys started with the media, created e-rats and the recharge card media all over the places. Some of them that fell off joined different group and he brought them back now. And according to you guys, he forgiving them with condition. Now they have to do your biddings. They have to cover your excesses. Some of them will come and say, talking about whatever Chikedozium said. Nobody's questioning about what Chikedozium said. Onyendu said that. Onyendu said it when Uchemofo was there. And Uchemofo did his job. If Chikedozium gives 60% of what Uchemofo did, I won't have argument. If Chikedozium leadership gone up to 60% of what Uchemofo did when IPOB was underdog, nobody will be talking now. We'll rack it on this percent. We'll put it on. If you put it on chat, what has been done on 2015, 16, 17, 18 on metrics. Now, you see where they are. They on abyss, their mouth with red down to the pit of hell. Without no disrespect. Never ever. I want to say something here. Some people don't know the reason why I mentioned Chomofo. Because I followed him closely. You know how many times Chomofo have finished broadcasting, his microphone was still on, live to the world. Sometimes he falls asleep. Some people say he's sleeping on the radio. But you don't know that man sleep on our studio. You don't even have time with his kids. Can you sit down? Let me tell you something. Do you know the most punish you can give somebody sitting in one place? Can he sit? If you're somebody that work with computer, right? Sitting down on computer daily, sit for 5 hours without getting up. Do you know what that means? Don't you know what it does to your body? He doesn't get up. But I followed him closely. So many times I would personally call him on phone and say, "Your microphone is still on." I remember one time they recorded his voice where I was sleeping. Days of them, they put it on forum. And I said, and then if he's sleeping and so sleeping what? He works 24 hours round the clock. Radio Biafra does not go up because then anything can come up, he will come back and broadcast it. Then they don't have multiple people broadcasting Radio Biafra then. We had one lady who news, and later he followed with before he came to Motherland. before I tweet as them and others, these guys start coming on the Yoruba, which we welcomed. All I'm saying here is that then everything was structured as IPOB, and you'll be proud of yourself. You don't go around talking nonsense. We still have media war, because I said it before. Every single one of us are media war. I lost my Facebook at the same time they disabled our former Radio Biafra main page on Facebook, which over 2 million. It was disabled. That's why then these guys, they went to Los Angeles to go to their headquarters when the devil has not taken over them all. I'm just making all these references because some people don't know. My point still remains that everything in IPOB was central command. What is central command? It's come from one source, the media. It's final. Whatever Chukwudo Former said is final. When it comes to finance, whatever Madam Ndianya said is final. The DOS, you can't hear DOS making any references there because when you do here, and them themselves, that's why I say Chikerism is passing information. That is your job. Now, Onyendu is not with us, is in DSS dungeon and is reachable. Your job is to transmit his message without you thinking about it, whether it suits you or not. Because the original problem we have today in IPOB, as IPOB is working today, and some of you today are quiet because you're comfortable, because some of you know why? You think you have achieved what you wanted by now getting involved with the backbone and heart of IPOB, which is her finance. And that money you people are diverting is their blood money. Now, to stifle IPOB with her fund, it is one of the exodus that people went on, and some people didn't know what was going on. But people like us, we were there watching you guys. Every step inch you guys was making, we were watching, taking records of what was going on. Because it's not someone like me when I speak, I'd say some of them that on today claiming, some of us defended, including myself. And some of them I'll give it to them that so many of them that were out there then doing something from their heart. But when now they start having backdoor meeting, which some of us went, and I told them plain, I don't defend individual. I only defend structure, because I have defended most of these men in their back. I don't need to say it. And I wasn't doing it because I had any personal relationship. I was doing it because this is how our movement has been structured. And when you go after every IPOB, we come after you as well. On a very clear note, I'm not talking about now things has gone, going left-handed now that everybody and them themselves know they have soiled their hand. Because when you soil your hand, all the things you do will constantly be mistake. That's why you see ESN pictures and their videos, what activities, whatever they do is being posted on, because they want to remain relevant. And some of us, our people are gullible in mind. Don't get me wrong. They are naturally weak, lame, like our leader said. Some of them can't think. Forget about their education, whatever they know. It's not about what you read. The point is that, can you use your common sense? Our people said our people are weak and lame. When I was saying this, he literally was crying. And if you look around what is happening, because I can tell you from my own perspective, and people that I know that was around me, some of them claiming that they're educated, but I can only say they are lame and weak. If you can use your common sense and question things that are need questionable, if the so-called people that were supposed to be protecting our leader are publicly making a cynical comment about our leader, telling the Zoo government that Onyendu's order has not been obeyed, do you know what that does to our leader? Do you know what that does? It's not me that said it. It's not me. It's not me. Contradicting yourselves. He said that they want us to isolate our leader. That is your word. On the other hand, you were reluctant about his words. And it was public. It is not like you guys did it without we even knowing. But they had the same nerve to come out on Radio Biafra and admitted these things. What does it tell you? Because in your mind, you believe that this man will never come out alive. So we might as well continue saying what we're saying. So nothing's going to happen. As you guys have bulldozer, the family, everybody in the family, including the dead parents, mean nothing to any of you. Anybody can start down from their own comfort zone and be saying what not about Okukano family. But I will always tell you people that in history of mankind, there is no family like Okukano family. And I'll tell you why. No family have ever come together to fight for one thing without having, disunity within themselves. I have not seen, including the parents. The parents sworn and died in the same cause. So any of you that have knowingly or unknowingly say something against this family, you see your generation, probably your generation will not live again. Because the cause you have embedded on you is something you don't even know. Some of you don't know. That's why, remember the last week, Mazi, when you were asking this question, I said, I'm not going to talk about this, and I'm not talking about it now. I'm just giving them a piece of advice, because whatever I want to deal with, I deal with it, I go deep in it. I don't just come out and talk. Some of you don't know what Okukano family represents, but I will tell you. There's no family on this earth. Go and read the history and any freedom fighting in the world. Some people don't know that with Mandela and Winnie Mandela, after 27 years, they're divorced. And both of them were not in peace till Mandela passed away. Winnie himself died. How do you know this? I will tell you to go on YouTube and type Winnie Mandela's burial and listen to Malema's submission that day, where he was talking to hypocrites. He said some of the people that they would say they're in the podium, you literally want to call their names. You have to be radical for you to stand against every odd. It's not every man. Some of us, as we are different, we have different voices. And there's those God have created in this world and give them mantle from birth. Because I cannot be part of evil. He was saying it. Those people that were on the podium that day, Malema was, I wouldn't say, go and type Malema, EFF leader, on Winnie Mandela's burial. And he is the person now actually championing the quest. Because what they wanted was total freedom of their people. Total, just like what's happening today. Onion want total freedom. And some people will ask us, say, why did Onion didn't take 5 states and say bye-bye? And Onion said, no, we are not taking 5 states because our kid and king must come with us. Because they, regardless of what they say publicly, they still see you as a big brother. If something happened tomorrow, they say, but you guys left us. And he said, no. We will ask them to decide by themselves. Just like as they gave the Boronu state of Boronu, where this guy come from Atiku, right? There's a referendum. You see this Abanzonia is in today. Abanzonia was under referendum, I think in 1952 or so, that brought them, they joined the Republic of Cameroon, and the Boronu joined the zoo on the other hand of it. Our kit and kin, that's why today they are fighting against Cameroon because they voluntarily submitted their sovereignty to Cameroon. They actually voted to join Cameroon. Just like as Scotland is saying today, they want another referendum. They could have done it, in a civil manner. They have another referendum. They said, okay, now we want to be on our own. But Africans, there's something wrong with them. We never learn. People who claim that they're professors that went to study, they have the same system. The problem is that how do they implement what they have learned? It becomes inevitable. So at the end of the day, the point I'm trying to make here is that overall, IPOB was not formed because we want to replicate what has happened or what we are trying to extricate ourselves from. IPOB is only formed that our people shall be totally free from this servitude and this oppressive regime, like Prince Charles have just, taken over as Prince Charles III. Now, because this is people don't know. That's what I say to people. It doesn't matter who is in number 10 Downing Street. It's a policy against Biafrans. And that policy has something to do with interest economically. That is what matters. And somebody that is on top always want to be on top. They don't want another Japan. This is what they told one of our generals when they went to Yugoslavia. We were looking for weapons. They said, no, they have one Japan in Asia. We don't want one in Africa. Because imagine if Biafra have survived in 1770, what could have happened? There wouldn't be a need for China. China wouldn't surge. China they will be languishing in poverty. Though they have a population, but they will be eating themselves. That's fact of life. Because in China, you're allowed to have one child. You can't have more than one child in China because of the population. People are over 1 billion people. So, Mazi.
Yeah, Mazi, I think now that they have made it 2 now.
Well, maybe now because they shut their door before now. Maybe now they now they're getting involved. They're going now. They were communists. They don't leave their country now, but now they have expatriates, and now they're recognizing country within like Africa. Now they have recognized most of the whole Africa, so they need men to go and work there because what they were doing, they were bringing their men from prison. All these people they are bringing, their engineers are prisoners. All these are prisoners. I met a couple of them back in Africa. All this sub-Saharan Africa. That was also happening. So now they're allowed because now they are now the new colonial master, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. They own most of all this country. Because under that, even the zoo as well, they indebted to them. So that's the main thing. So Mazi, and the main important thing I have to hammer anytime we come on air is about our finance. Because without finance in IPOB, there is nothing else.
Mazi, please before we go into that finance, there is one thing I want to bring to your notice. I want to talk. The last time our issue, the Mazi Chike doesn't come on air, he talked about mentioning name on Radio Biafra and hand over the names to the gods of our land. Yeah, for me, handling people to the gods of our land, for me, I have no problem with that because the way of gods is not the way of man. But announcing the name on Radio Biafra so that and the enemy, the zoo security, we go after them, is where my problem come up. I want to say something. There's two things I want to say. I want to say about it. 2 points I want to make about it. Mazi Chikedozie, this message is for you. You know, our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he announced people's name on Radio Biafra. Yes, but our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will investigate and make sure what he say is 100% accurate, right. That's our leader, you know. I have 2 cases, Mazi Chikedozie, because I said, for me personally, you know, you shouldn't be announcing any name anymore in Radio Biafra. I have 2 cases. One is Mr. George Umeh that's here with me. The second one is the man that announced his name on Biafra TV. It's also a platform of IPOB. And if that man is in Nigeria, that man could have been gone. I'm talking about Emma Abagada in America. And according to the man, he told me that in Enugu State there is a coordinator. I don't want to make a mistake here. You know, so there's a coordinator at this point, you know, that have contrary issue with some members, and they tag him autopilot. And that man's name was mentioned on our IPOB state press statement. And the guy was picked up, and they picked him up. Nigeria Soldier picked me up. The same Imam Bagada, I'm quoting him. He reached out to you, telling you this man is innocent. This IPOB 100% autopilot. You know, but they pick him, the Nigerian Soldier pick him up. They tried to reach you, and you did not done anything. China Samolu did not done anything. Not until the man ran to Obuefi, and Obuefi consulted Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor saved that guy's life. If not, it could have been totally gone because his name was mentioned on IPOB statement, a press release. Then second one is Mazi George Umeh. Mazi George Umeh did nothing wrong. The only crime he committed, he was paying the money to the account designated by our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to Germany account, Austria account, Italy account, and his name was mentioned on Radio Biafra. If Mazi George Umeh is in Nigeria, what will happen to him? What will happen to him? So I'm saying this. If you want to mention name on Radio Biafra, please, you must investigate by yourself, because most of the name you announce there, you do not investigate. They just give you the name and you announce it. We have that information. I'm begging you, before you announce anybody's name, make a thorough investigation by yourself, 100%. Because I could remember after you announced Mazi George Umeh with other people, Chinasa will come on Radio Biafra and say one of those that their name was announced on Radio Biafra, he was caught on kidnapping. Meaning the names you announced, they're all kidnapping. They're all criminals. But George Umeh is in the UK. We have to be very, very careful for announcing innocent people's names on Radio Biafra. Thank you, Mazi George Umeh. If you have anything to say, please.
Yes. You know, I like us to do something whenever we are saying something, like especially when you are quoting somebody, it's very important to quote that person verbatim and actually present the evidence concerning that person. You know, so I think the best thing to do is to get this particular video.
You are the sponsors of these criminals. You must desist. If
okay, you know what? Yeah, the video is going to play. After it's finished playing, I will say something.
you do not desist, first of all, I won't shame you. I will call your name, and like they say, how do they put it? Call and shame and whatever. Your name will be mentioned. If you do not desist, those of you, because we have your record and we know you, you may be trying to, trying to see who you can deceive as if you are working for IPOB. We will call your name that you are those sponsoring the criminals in our land, and therefore, invariably, you do not wish the coming out of our leader. You want him to continue to be tortured, to continue to be prosecuted and persecuted and held illegally in detention, despite the ruling of several courts that he must be released. Not only that, I will call your name on air. What you see, you take. What you see, you will take, because we will ask the spirits of our ancestors to take the appropriate and the proper position and take the proper action against all these people that have desecrated our land, continue to desecrate our land, continue to maim and kill, murder, cause all this chaos in our land. That's why I've said tonight, you need to reject all that you are being recruited to do and go back to the land and be.
Mazi, you see, there's one point I want to make here. There's one thing Chikedojem said. He said, you are the people that don't want our leader to continue to be tortured by their activities. Now, take it back to the 2 videos we just watched about ESN. Is that action and art actually pushing to release our leader or to get our leader killed in prison?